Hi there, Louise here from Louise Ellen Nutrition. Today I wanted to share with you some habits to get rid of that bloated feeling, to reduce bloating, because I have a lot of clients that come into the clinic and they're always, after they eat, they find that they get bloated. So I thought I would share with you what I share with them, which is 5 simple tips. So to reduce bloating, number 1 is portion size. So if you clasp your hand together, this is how big your stomach is and how much food it can put in it. So and this is after you've chewed food as well. So when when you're having huge meals and you're putting all that into your stomach needs a certain amount of room to be able to break it down. It's got hydrochloric acid in there. You've got all these enzymes like amylase and things that will break down carbohydrates in the mouth, but then you've got the digestive juices, can't get that word out, to break down the contents in your stomach. So if your stomach is overly full there's not a lot of room for the hydrochloric acid to start breaking down food, it can stretch. And there is this thing called rugae in the stomach. It's like folds in your stomach, so it can stretch. But when you're constantly eating huge amounts of food, your stomach remains stretched, and that can cause all sorts of problems like overeating, but in particular bloating. So a great way to reduce bloating, number 1, is by reducing what you're eating. And I know that can be hard, especially when you're used to eating a certain way. So to reduce bloating, some other tips could be having a smaller plate, just reducing your portion sizes by like 1/5 at a time until you're used to not eating as much. There's always ways that we can get around these things to, rather than just going, cut your meal in half and that ain't ever gonna happen. So just reduce it down a little bit at a time until you're at a point where you've got enough food where you're not feeling overly sickly full. The second way to reduce bloating is chewing your food thoroughly. So when you chew your food, or if you're gulping it down, the first mechanical digestion is the first start of digestion. So when you chew, the food goes into your stomach and then it gets further broken down, then it goes into your small intestines and your large intestine and out the other end. So when we don't chew our food thoroughly, chunks of food are going into the stomach, and the stomach can only break down to a certain point. And if there's chunks in there, that can cause bloating because it's taking too long. And then it goes into the intestines, and that can cause stomach pain and all sorts of stuff. So chewing your food thoroughly is a big one, so 30 to 40 times or until mushy. So that will help with bloating as well. Another one is not drinking whilst eating. So with your stomach, you've got the digestive juice in there. So you have good portion size, you chew your food thoroughly, and then it goes into the stomach. But if you then have a big glass of water thereafter, all those digestive juices are completely diluted. So then that stops digestion, and that can cause bloating as well. So drinking water maybe 30 minutes and then maybe an hour after eating, depending on what you've eaten. If you're super hungry while you're eating, that can be an indication. Sorry, super hungry. Of course you'll be hungry. If you're super thirsty while you're eating, have a few sips, but that can also be an indication of dehydration, so not getting enough water throughout the day. So that's number 3. Number 4 is being present. So if you're eating on the run and you're stressed and you get the food down and you're walking around and eating, your body is just all over the place. So when we are present and we're calm and we're sitting, this is the best way to, this really improves digestion. The body can then give its energy, attention, time and focus to breaking down that food. So that's what we want. Otherwise, if you're stressed and you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this and quickly wolf down this food, that can cause bloating as well. And lastly, eating foods high in nutrients. So when you eat foods that are lots of sugar and carbs and things like that, that can put our body completely out of balance and cause bloating as well. So making sure you're having enough vegetables, some foods that are just nutrient dense, like legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, fruits, things like that, and just reducing your intake of those refined carbs and sugars and things. So yeah, so there's 5 tips there for you. I hope they were helpful in being able to reduce bloating. And if you'd like some help with changing your eating habits in a way that's quick and easy, I have I run an evening and weekend clinic in Darwin, and I also do phone consults for those interstate. So have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.